So welcome to Macrocode. If you are new to this channel, consider subscribing. So we are going to begin our video today. That is proceed with what we had started. So as you can see, this is our mobile app. So we are building a poultry stock eggs collection mobile app. So that allows the field agents to go and collect eggs from the field and then report back and be able to see how the field activity has been done. So you can see here we're able to track the total number of farmers that we are collecting the eggs from, the total eggs, total trays, and total collection that has been done. Then here we have the farmers list, so we'll be loading the farmers list. Then we have the eggs collection list. So here you can see we have the list of eggs. So you should be able to see the list of eggs. Then, as you can see here, we have this is a list of the collections that we've been able to do. So you can add a new record. So you can select the farmer, put in the number of trays, the collection, the date, and also put in some comments. So then we click save. Then you're able to get this particular list of record. So if you double tap, then you're able to update. So you can see we have the details that we had provided already saved, and this is saved locally within .NET MAUI. So if I just proceed and save, so I'll just save that. We were able to create this particular app, but this data is being saved here. So we need to find a way on how we are pushing this data to the API and the other and actually pull some records from the API. So we had created our API. So I'll just go to, let me just launch our API. So where is it? So we have our API here. So we had created our API and we have so we have our controllers. We had done some controllers here. So we have the eggs, farmers. We have all these endpoints. So let me just launch so that we're able to see. We just do here 7. Let me just confirm the settings. We go to app settings. Where is it? That is launch settings. Then we should get this is our just do that. Then I'll do here Swagger. If we just do that, then I'll proceed and we have our system codes, system code details. We have the locations, field agents, farmers, eggs collection, and we have the counties. So if we just refresh, we have so this is our API. We can get a list of counties. If we try to do that, you can see we have an empty list. So you can try to add some records to our database. So for example, you can try by these system codes. So this one we can say, we can try here to say, and I don't know if we had, I think we had provided this to be null. We can just have this as null for now. Let's say try. Where is it? I think this is getting, so you should do a post. We say try, then you can do here null. Then this one you can leave it, you can do this also null. Then for the ID, we leave it. Then code, you can say gender, and this is you can say here gender. So we try to execute. We realize that the record has been saved and we have an ID 1. If we go to system codes, so that's so we should check here. We have a different database. We have the system codes. Then it will show us we have the gender and we have these particular details. So we can also do the same thing. So you can say here, let's just say ethnicity. ethnicity. We'll just put in ethnicity. Add. We can also say we have gender, ethnicity, and we can in those two. Okay. Then for our system codes, we can also do a post. We can try to add. So I'll do here null. This is also null. You can say this is male. This is male. So these are the ones. So for gender, I'll do. So if we just to execute, we'll have two values: gender and ethnicity. So for this one, I'll say year 1. So let me see if that will work. So if I execute, it has actually saved. So if we go to our system code details, realize that we have a male ID, which is 3. So I'm linking this back to the system code ID. Then I can do female and do female and do here female. Then execute. Then I can also do here Kale Jean. Then this will be 2. If I execute, I'll do here Meru. Do here Meru. Do here Turkana. I'll do here Oromo. So these are ethnicity. I can say here Ukusu. I'll just put in some. These are examples. I'll also say here Taita. So if we check on our system code details, we'll be having some values. You can see all these values. So if we go to now, if we just refresh this, if we go to system codes, we can now do get, and I execute, I'll get the values. So you can see I have my values for the API. Then if we go do the same for system code details, try and execute, then I'll have this. Then I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this. So you can see we have all male, female. So these are all the system code details. So irrespective of the system code that has been tied to it. So we also have locations. I think we can add locations. I'll just say this is null. I'll try. We go to post. So we can have this as now this as null. And have this as null. And have this as so for this one we'll say location. We'll say here chorus. I'll have this as chorus. Then we need a county ID. So that means we need to add counties first. We'll just add our counties. So here we'll say Mombasa. This is Mombasa. Then here we can do this is null. So we execute. If we go to counties, we will get some values here. So you see we have Mombasa. So I'll also go to I'll say here Kisumu. Execute that. I'll do here Nairobi. I'll do here Nairobi. Do here Kitale. This should be Trans Nzoia. So I'll have that. I'll also do Bungoma. I'll do Embu. So these are some of the counties. I'll do Kajiado. I'll do Narok. Then I'll do Lamu. I'll do Wajir. I'll also do here Kakamega. This is Kakamega. I'll just paste this here. Then Kakamega, then I'll do here Busia. Then here I'll do Turkana. Then execute. So we now have that. If we go to locations, I'll try to add a location now because we have our counties. So if we go to counties, for example, if you say get counties, execute, then you can see we have our list of counties here. So we have this list of counties that we have added, and if we go to the database, we have these counties. So we can see this. Then if we go to locations, then here I can just go to posts. Then here I'll say here null. Then here I'll say chorus. I'll do your chorus. Then county I can say 1. If we proceed to execute, then that will be created. If we come to locations, I'll be having my location. So you can see I have my location here, chorus. I can say here, and have here, I can say here Maridadi, and have that. I execute and say here Kwanza, and have that. And say here Misupini. Then I can choose my county. I can say here maybe 2. And say Mwango. So this is the code for Mwango. Then this is the name. I can say Mnarani. Then I can put here the name. Then I can say this is for excuse me. So if we proceed and say this is so if we go to locations, I'll come here and we have all this. Then I'll come here and say Mailsaba. Do that, then do here 5. If I execute that, then I'll have some data on location. So I just want some dummy data that we can use. So if we go to locations, then say get execute, then you'll get these locations here. Now I want us to do another thing. I think for agents, there's a lot of data that we have to type in. So for now, I want us to do So there is now another thing that we need to add. So on these particular endpoints that we have here, we don't have the users. So you see here, we don't have the users. And remember, on our mobile app, we created mobile app users. So if you go to the models, you'll see you have something called mobile app users. So we need to copy this, and we can go back to our model, that is our API. Then we can have here mobile app users. So let's stop our API first. So we have our mobile app users. I'll do that. I'll say this is mobile app user. Then here we need to have a list of users. So a list of properties, then we'll just borrow from what we have here. I'll just go back here and I'll paste this. So you can see this. We have the ID, first name, middle name, last name, that. This also should inherit from user activity. Remember, our user activity, this tracks the person who created, when, and how was that record created. So we'll be having our user activity, then phone number, email address, and so if we go to application DB context, come here, then just come here and replace this, and then do that. Then I just do this. After that, we need to add migrations. I'll just come to NuGets, add a console. Then I just say CLS, say add migration. Then I say mobile app users. So I just press enter. Then our mobile app users will be generated. That's the file, migration file, and we should be good. So you can see we should be good to proceed and update our database with the new tables. So you can see here we have the mobile app users created table. We have if it's there, it will drop. So just proceed here now and do what you call update database. Sorry, that's the wrong command. So it's case sensitive. So just do here update database. So just proceed. You can see that is generated, and we'll be having our users table here. We'll just proceed here, and you can see we have our mobile app users. So we have our mobile app users, and that's fine. So if you're watching our video and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, like the video, and also comment down below. So the next thing that we need to have, I want us to have an endpoint. Let's just have an endpoint for creating a user. So let's just come here and say, do we even need an endpoint for creating a user? No, let's not do that, because we're going to expose this, so no one should create the user from the API. But now I want us to do one thing. I want us to proceed and create another controller called tokens. So we are going to use the JWT to authenticate our mobile app. So I'll just create a controller which is empty. Then you're going to call that controller tokens. So we have our controller here. Then you can put our constructor. Then just put that. So once we have this controller, the next thing is we can have here our DB context. Let me just replace it. Then once we have that, we have our tokens. The next thing that I want us to have is I want us to have this particular tokens controller is what we are going to contact and get the token and even authenticate user. So here I'll say public, the public async. You can see that here you can say action result, then you can say here token token. Sorry, this is token. So this one we can say this is HTTP post. So the reason for that is let's create a view. Do you have a view model here? So let's create a folder of view models. So we are going to call this view models. Then you are going to create let's create even a model here called bearer. So you can say bearer login. So this bearer login will have some few things. So it will be having the username and the PIN. And also I wanted to have what we call the public. Then you can have what we call grant type. Or you can even, let's just have it username and PIN. So this username and PIN, you need to supply to an on our controller. Where is it? Yeah. So this one we're expecting I can say here from body. Then you're expecting a VM. So this one will come with the, then on this model we can create a login result. I want us to have a login result here that will actually be giving us some, or we can call it API. Let's call this public. Call this class. Then you can call it API status. Then it will be having a status. Then it will be having a message. Or you can say here error code. And you can even have an error description. This is just a simple API. So our token now, whenever you come here, so you'll say variable result. You can check. So first thing first, you'll just say here mobile app users. We check where the username is that and PIN is that. So here we are saying this is token. What is this saying? We use EFCO. That's fine. So you can check where the username is that and PIN is that. This is for now, but we'll come and hash these details later. So don't worry about it. Now, then we can say, but I want us to check one thing. So if this is not null, so you can say here, you can say if this result is not equal to null. So then we have our, so you can add this in our try catch just to ensure we have everything else taken care of. So But before that, I want us to ensure that all the errors that we have so I'll just come here and I say variable API result response will be API result. API result. What is the name of what we? So this is API result. Call this API response. You can call it API response. So if I just come here, I can do that. Then I can say API.response dot. So this one should be out here. Let's just have this out here. We say API.response.error code. Then we have our error description. Then if this is the same case, we can have it here. Dot error code. Then we have the description. Then we say we have this here. So it can return an object. So we'll say bad request, but else other things, that means we have good. So you can see here we have our, so here you can say this is can say get token. You say you can have this as a get app token. So that's fine, but we need to use, so let's just launch our app and see. We need to get everything that we have, and we are going to integrate this with just to retrieve the token. So you can see, where is it? So if you move down here, you'll see it here. You can see it expects the username. So this we should say here, this should be tokens. I think that should be get token. Let's just relaunch get app token. So that's the case. If we go back here, you should see there is /API tokens. Then this should be then here we should actually give it a name. A token, but here you can say get token. If we just launch this, I'm trying to give it a unique name. See, this API tokens, then get token. So that's fine. Now, instead of doing all these on the API, so remember we had some work on the mobile app where we have our farmers, we have the eggs collections that we need to do, and we also need to have our login page. Now I want us to go to our app. Let's go to our app. We need to farm up some few details before we start having the app interacting with the API. So the first thing is we need to first create, so we need to create our interfaces. So here, I'll just come here, create a folder. call it interfaces. Then here I'll just create an interface, show a new item. Then here I'll create an interface. Then I'll call this API and say API. This, you can just call it API. This is our interface. So we call it API. So I'll name this as let me rename it. Or you can say this is API. Let's rename this to API. API connection. So you see this API connection. So the first thing that we need to have is we need to have our method. We say task going to get us a string. It will retrieve for us a string, and that is get token. Then we need to supply username and pin. Then here we can say this is a post, and here we are using what we had actually used. So we need to say this is our post, and we can do this. So you can have this. Then you can say, you see this method here. So if we try right now. So this is the method here. It should be API tokens get token. So you should actually do this. Have API. So this post, why is it not behaving? So this is the interface. Then this is post. No, that's the wrong thing. So this is post. I want us to use something here. So did we insert actually install Refit? No, we are actually adding it on the wrong side of it. This should be added on the mobile app. That's the challenge of having many code opened. I'll just cut this. I'll cut this. We should be doing this on the mobile app. I was actually doing it on the API. So do you have it even there? I'll just create a folder. Let's create a folder. I was wondering what is it doing. Let's stop our app. So that is the interfaces. Come here and create a class. Then on this class, I'll just paste it here. Then add that. This is our public class. There we go. Then I can come to our API here. I'll borrow this. I can paste it here. You can see this is now okay, it's working. If we just come here, let me remove this so that it doesn't confuse us. So what we are doing should be on the mobile app. So you can see we now have our API tokens, get token. And this get token is actually what is here. So you see this one. So you can have all these methods, for example, get counties. But now, do we need even even the get counties. So we can lump all this. Well, let me just have it in case. So let's have this. We'll be having here counties. We have a model for counties. We don't have it. So I can just come here, come on the API, and you can copy this model here, create it on our app side, then so this is public, then we can borrow what we have here. But now this one, our ID here, remember this is primary key, this is primary key, then it's unique, then this is the code. I said for my tables in the app, I prefer getting my models in plural. Then if I go to my data store, remember this is where our tables are created, and we have methods that we have defined that is actually used to store and process some data. So you can see, like, if you want to insert, update, delete, you have these generic methods now. So for counties, you need to create that table. I'll just put in here, and we are using SQLite. So we have our database path. This is our database, and it is actually .db3, and this is our path. So we have path.combine app directory, then you pass the file name. So if you come back here, we go to, where were we? Connection. So this is the counties. So we'll get the database, and we can now say this one, our method now, our endpoints, they should be counties. So this should be, say, slash counties. So this will be slash counties. Then here we can say, this is get counties, and this is ht. This is actually get. Then here you should do here get counties. You don't need to supply anything here, we just need that. So you can have all those methods here to retrieve the data. So for now, I'll just put in the ones that I need for farmers. So here, these will be farmers. I'll need a list of farmers on the mobile app. So this one should be get farmers. So this one here should be get farmers. But also check this one. For counties, we're expecting a list. So we'll do list, and then we close this here. Then also this one, we're expecting a list of farmers. We can close this one. So here I'll do farmers. Then I'm expecting a list of get farmers. Then I also expect something. I need on our API, I need agents. I need a list of agents. I can get a list of agents from the app. That's fine. So I can have this. I can have these agents here. So then I'll say this is get agents. So we will get field agents. So we have this in our interface. Then we have, so if we go back here, we have also locations. So we need to copy this, paste it here. Do you have locations? Yes, I'll just copy this and I'll have my locations here. Sorry, I need to paste it here. Then you have a get location. So any other thing here, system codes, can just put it, but we'll actually work on it differently. Then this one should be location. So I don't know if we had added, we had that model here. Yes, we had locations. So we have locations, and remember, locations and location is actually sensitive. You can see here it's part of Microsoft.maui.devices.sensors.location. That's why I named mine as location. So you need to be keen with that, so you might get problems. So I'll also have my system codes. Also have my system codes here. So this is my system codes. I'll just have it here. Then I'll say here the get system codes. This one should be system codes. System code. Where is it? Do you have it? We don't have it. So we need those models, by the way. Let's just go back to our API. We need these two models. I'll come here and create it on the app. Remember, we said our app is going to work offline, so most of the setup tables will need it on the app, so that whenever someone logged in and goes to the field where there is no connectivity, they can just work without any challenges. So this one, I'll create it here, and I'm going to say this is also our primary key and it's unique. We don't increment because this value should come from the database and not the mobile app database, but the main database through the API. So here I'll go to data store and I need to put it here so that our app creates that table locally. So I have it here. So these tables you see here is what are being created locally, and you can see how we are defining our connection. So this connection is every time you log in the app, it is actually instantiated here and it's created. So if you want to see how that is being done, you can just watch some of the previous videos that we've done. So this is system code. We also need system code detail. We'll just go to our system code detail. I'll just do that. Then I'll do here public. Then we have we need our system code detail here. So this one should be equals to, so you can do here primary key, then you can say unique. So remember this one, SQLite doesn't understand this. So you either remove it or you do something like this. You put here ignore. So or else you'll get an error. So doesn't understand that relationship that you are doing there. So I'll just put there ignore. Then I'll come to data store and come and do this. So sorry, I'll come and do this. So this table will be created. So now on our app connection, so here we'll now have a system code detail, and you'll get that list. So you can see this is fine. So you also need the system code. I'll just go back here and you need to check that system code. So this is a try. So most of these codes will be added through our backend system, and we are going to create that in Blazor. So stay tuned and see how we are going to navigate through all these problems. So I'll just come here and say this is get system codes. So we now have our interface. So this interface, we need to create an implementation service. So I'll just come here and I'll create a folder called services. So that is services. Then that services, I'll come here and say I'll create a class called API connection. So this is a public, a class, and it inherits, it implements. So I'll say it implements. Sorry. So here if I do full colon IAPI, so this is IAPI service. Where is it? This one. We have this one. We have this. So if you do that, then we need our constructor here. Sorry. We need our constructor here. So if we do that, then you'll see this thing here trying to cry out. So if you hover on it, you'll see this red thing here. If you click on it, it will tell you implement interface. If we just click on it, it will generate all the code that we want here. But now it has not implemented. It is expecting us now to do the implementation. So you can see the error is not there, but it has given us all what it wanted. It wanted all these: get counties, get farmers, field agents, locations, get system codes, and even get token. Now, I want us to do one thing now. We've been able to create our interface. We have our service. We now need to do the implementation. So I want us to come here to our application, then go to we had a database, then we have something called constants. So these constants of ours is where we store anything that is related to the application, and we are not going to use it's not going to change. First thing is I'm going to have here our base IP address. And that IP address is actually will be the link of our API. For this case, I'll just put there localhost this way. So this is our so this is where we'll be having our API link. So there's also an way whereby you can be storing this on the database locally, or you can be having it on a file like this. Now, if I go to our API implementation service, we need now to implement these. We need now to implement this. So I'll just come to our constructor. I'll say variable URL. So this is the URL of the API. So it will be constants.base URL. Then here I'll say variable. I want us to declare our HTTP. I'll say HTTP client handler. So there we go. So we have HTTP client handler is equals to new HTTP client handler. Then it is saying server certificate custom validation callback. We have the message start chain errors, that all those have been set to true. Now, then here I have my HTTP client. So, but before that, I want us to have our to define our security. We'll call this service. Sorry, I'll call it service point manager. So you can see service point manager. This one is saying it has deprecated. So I think there's no need then to use that. So you can just leave it. Then what we need to do is I need to define here our interface. I'll say private read only, then I say I API. Sorry, I love this here. Then I can say underscore and say API connection. Then here I can come and say here underscore API connection equals to, I want to say REST. So this should be REST service. You see that REST service? It's actually from Refit, and we have it here. So remember we had installed Refit in our NuGets. So remember we have it here. So this is what we are going to use. We are going to use Refit. We'll just go to our go back. Where is it? So here you said API connection is equals to REST service 4. Then we have our IAPI connection. Then it says HTTP client then base address is equals to URI. Then we can also inside here we can say comma. Then you can say new Refit settings. See this new Refit settings. Then you can say here can have some changes here. So this one, no, this actually should not be inside here. These should be, so if we do that, see this one should be here. Do your comma, then we do new Refit settings. Then here, instead of doing this, we can say here content serializer equals to new. We can do this. The system text JSON content serializer. Then we say here, do we use let's use Newtonsoft. Do you use, I think this is a bit lighter, so that's fine. So we say property naming policy, say that is camel case, right intended, it's true. That's fine. So then we can close it. Yeah, these are some of additional settings that you can do. Now we have our API defined and all this here. Now we have this has not been used now. So if you go to our get counties, what we need here is we just need to say async, then we say task list counties, then we say here return, then you see we say underscore API, then get counties. So the same thing now we should do here. Just say async, then you say underscore get farmers. So this also will do the same. Say here async, then get field agents. Then this one also will say async, we'll say then get locations. So same case here, say async, then we do get system codes, do the same thing here, async, then get system codes. Then this one you should do here async, then it should get us token. This one, why is it not saved? If you go to this task, get token. Okay, I see. So this one you should pass the username and PIN. Then it should solve that problem. So you can see we've now done our implementation, but we are going to add more updates. So this is not the final thing. So then remember, once we do this, we need to register this on our program.cs. So what we need to do, we need to go to our program.cs. Then here, I'll just copy this and I'll say add transient. Then here I'll need API connection. Then I'll say API connection. That is the implementation. So that is fine, and I'm good to go. Now, once you have this, I think there's one thing that I want us to do before moving forward. So is on our implementation here, we need to define, we need to have this service here. So I'll say here, we'll have this as, I'll say, I'll just say private static. Then I say API service. Then I'll say here underscore instance. So I just do instance. But now I'll want this instance to be instantiated, or I can just have it as a, let me just say instance equals to, and say new API service. But now let me just do something here. So if this is already instantiated, I can say this is underscore instance. Then I can say here, if this equals to that, if this is null, then instantiate. So this is what I have now. Then this one is that, but now I want to do something like this. If you instantiate this, then you assign a value to this, and you say equals to. Then you do this. That's fine. So what I want us now to do, if we go to the login page, you remember our login page? This is our login page. So we have some, so we need to link this. Remember, our login page communicates with them. It communicates with our API. So we need to make this page interact with our API now through what we've just done. And you need to go through all those steps just to reach here. Now here I'll say login page. This is how it looks like. We don't have anything much that we've done. So here we'll just come and say here, I want every time you say API connection service, then you say instance. So this should be instance. So that means this is not public. This is public, and this is public. If I just come back here, there we go. But now we have an error, we have an issue with our constructor. So the constructor also will buy into the idea of what we've just done. So here we'll just come here and also say private read only, then IAPI connection, then API connection. Then I'll just say here IAPI connection API connection. Then I need to assign the value here. I'll do that. If we just do that, then our login page, this error should disappear. We now have we have this and this, and we have this assigned. So remember, when you are logging in, you are getting the username and PIN. So the username and PIN, if any of those two is not provided, then you should actually throw an error. So here, if you say if, you can see there, it's telling us, so this should be display alert async. So if a string is null or white space username error, please enter a username. You can also do the same if PIN is less or equal to 0. We say here error, please enter PIN. Now, if we have everything okay, what do we need to do? So this is now where we need to simulate everything, and we need to log in. So let's just go back to our home page. Remember, we can now deactivate this back. So if we relaunch this, it should retake us back to the login page without any errors. So let's just see if that works. So we now have our API that we created, which we've not completed everything. Let's just relaunch it and see how it looks like. Where is our API as the app is launching? So let's just do that. So our app is also launching here. So this is our API. So if you're watching our video and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing and also like the video. You can comment down below, tell us where you're watching from, and we will be happy to engage. So this is our API, and you can see we have all these details that you see here. We have the countries, we have the eggs, collection farmers, field agents, location, system codes. Now our app is launching, so let's just wait and see. So where is it? It's here. Let's just wait the app to launch. I think it's almost done. Running there, you can see it's running. So as you can see, the app is there launching. It should take us to the login screen without any issues. So if we have a problem, then we'll have to fix it. But if we don't have a problem, then we are good to go. So you can see it has taken us to the login screen, and this is our login page here. So you can see we have our .NET MAUI logo, and we have the username and PIN. So this username and PIN is what we need to provide. Then we bind it with our API. Then we are good to go. So I think I'm going to leave it there, and we see each other tomorrow. So if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. I'm sure you've learned something in this particular episode. That is it.